Arne Ness coined the phrase Deep Ecology in 1973. Deep Ecology is a philosophy of ecology and green living. In Ness's opinion, the science of ecology is a separate entity from the philosophy of ecology. While the science of ecology concerns itself with facts and figures regarding the environment, Deep Ecology examines the philosophical underpinnings of learning to live with nature. The goal of Deep Ecology is to formulate an ethical basis for living that is environmentally sound. Ness didn't think that organisms could be ranked in terms of their importance. He believed that humankind saw itself as the pinnacle of evolution only because it's humans who do the ranking. While we think that we are the height of civilization and intelligence, could it possibly be that other organisms are ahead of us in this regard? Most organisms eventually find a state of equilibrium with their environment, living in harmony with their respective biospheres. But the human race tends to overwhelm and destroy the environment in which it lives. Our religious underpinnings define humans as superior to other beings because we have souls. However, who's to say that animals don't? Even the word animal comes from the Latin word for soul, anime. We also tend to think that we are the only beings who have consciousness and self-awareness, but we're the ones who define what those phrases mean. A lot of recent research, especially work by scientists like Jane Goodall and Frans de Waal, would seem to indicate that some of the higher primates have a measure of self-awareness and consciousness as well. Author and humanist Douglas Adams said that humans feel themselves superior to dolphins because all dolphins do all day is swim and play in the ocean. And dolphins feel themselves superior to humans for exactly the same reason. Ness said that the right of all forms of life to live is a universal right which cannot be quantified. No single species of living being has more of this particular right to live and unfold than any other species. What this means is that humankind is not separate from nature, and our personal philosophies should not reflect the idea that we are somehow above nature or superior to it. Taking this broader view of the world around us, we can see that sustainable living is more than just things we do. It's a philosophy of life. It's who we are. If we learn to respect nature, maybe even to hold all living things as sacred in some way, then our lives and our actions will automatically fall in line with deeper ecological principles. In other words, deep ecology is about making a paradigm shift towards a way of life that is in harmony with nature. If we view ourselves as somehow separate from nature, then green living just seems to be another task to accomplish in our daily list of activities. But if we see ourselves as a part of nature, then it becomes apparent that what we do to nature, we ultimately do to ourselves as well. Green living is more than just a sound principle. It should be a way of life. Deep ecology is a philosophy that, if adopted, will allow us as a society to make the paradigm shift necessary to live in harmony with nature. The Deep Ecology platform was drafted by Arne Ness and George Sessions in 1984. Its principles are as follows. 1. The well-being and flourishing of human and non-human life on Earth have value in themselves. And some of those synonyms are inherent worth, intrinsic value, and inherent value. These values are independent of the usefulness of the non-human world for human purposes. 2. Richness and diversity of life contribute to the realization of these values and are also values in themselves. 3. Humans have no right to reduce this richness and diversity except to satisfy vital needs. 4. Present human interference with the non-human world is excessive, and the situation is rapidly worsening. 5. The flourishing of human life and cultures is compatible with a substantial decrease of the human population. The flourishing of non-human life requires such a decrease. 6. Policies must therefore be changed. The changes in policies affect basic economic, technological, and ideological structures. The resulting state of affairs will be deeply different from the present. 7. The ideological change is mainly that of appreciating life quality, dwelling in situations of inherent worth, rather than adhering to an increasingly higher standard of living. There will be a profound awareness of the difference between big and great. 8. Those who subscribe to the foregoing points have an obligation, directly or indirectly, to participate in the attempt to implement necessary changes. The principles of deep ecology are reflected in the first sacred pillar of the Black Mountain Druid order, reverence for life and all living things. In this video, we will explore how deep ecology relates to the path of the Druid. The book Foundational Druidry in the Black Mountain Druid Order is our manual for training those new to the Druid path. It was written as a companion piece to our free online Foundational Druidry course and teaches you what it means to be a contemporary Celtic shaman. In this book, you'll learn about deep ecology, herbalism, animal wisdom, meditation, dream work, and vision seeking. You'll also learn about Celtic gods and goddesses, some rites of passage practiced by our order, and holidays celebrated by contemporary Druids as we honor the Wheel of the Year. A portion of all sales goes towards funding the work of our order, helping our members to develop in mind, body, spirit, and emotion through the way of the Druid. The earth upon which we live has been worshipped as a goddess for much of the history of humankind. The link between the powers of procreation and the earth is obvious to hunter-gatherers or agrarian societies. Food seems to magically appear from the ground each year, just as mothers bring forth new life from within their wombs. Linking this creative power would only naturally lead to the idea of the earth as goddess. Until recently, the oldest known depiction of the Mother Earth goddess was the Venus of Willendorf. This statuette, found in Austria, depicts a nude Rubenesque woman devoid of facial features. Her lack of facial characteristics means she could represent any woman, anywhere. The Venus of Willendorf is believed to be around 20,000 to 25,000 years old. This would mean that goddess worship is at least 20,000 years old. This was the oldest known depiction of the goddess until fairly recently. Two statuettes similar in form and appearance to the Venus of Willendorf were recently discovered. They are known as the Venus of Tantan and the Venus of Bereket Ram. They are both controversial in that they may be actual carved statues, or they may just be natural rocks that give the appearance of being carved into goddess form. If they turn out to be hand-carved, this would mean that goddess worship is between 200,000 and 300,000 years old. If that's true, it would mean that goddess worship is almost as old as the human race. At any rate, worship of the goddess has been with us for far longer than most other religious paths. In the Black Mountain Druid order, the goddess symbolizes the living organism that is our planet and mother to us all. She also symbolizes the power of rebirth and creation. She is our Earth Mother. In the 1960s, James Lovelock was a research scientist at NASA. He worked with models designed to detect signs of life on Mars. As a result of his work, he became interested in how the geobiosphere of the Earth maintained its equilibrium. Lovelock noticed that all the complex interrelated systems of the Earth worked together to maintain a type of homeostasis. Lovelock's observations led him to formulate the Gaia hypothesis. Simply stated, the Gaia hypothesis views all forms of life on Earth as an interlocking single organism. This organic system self-regulates and works to maintain optimum conditions for its continued survival. According to the Gaia hypothesis, that which affects one system ultimately affects all life on Earth. Druidry takes the Gaia hypothesis one step further, in that it views the mental, physical, and spiritual health of all of humankind as a part of a geo-ecosystem that is the living planet we call Earth. If all life on Earth is interrelated, and all human beings certainly are a type of life on Earth, then what happens to the rest of the planet affects us all. Druids of the Black Mountain Druid Order recognize that not only does the environment impact our physical health, but it also has a direct influence on our mental health and our spiritual health. While artificial, stressful, and polluted environments have the ability to harm, nature has the power to heal. Druids of our order recognize that everything is connected to everything else. We interact with the environment, and the environment interacts with us. For those who know how to listen, the wind of the trees can sing to us. The view of a mountain range or a moonlit ocean can tell a story. The smell of the first flowers of spring can speak just as clearly as a loved one's voice can. On the other hand, a crowded, polluted city street can communicate as well. If we could make a paradigm shift to a lifestyle that makes room for nature, what would that do to our own sense of well-being? When I speak of a paradigm shift, I'm talking about a fundamental change in the way we view life. I mean a change in values, a new way of thinking about what's important. We evolved in the wild, and we've only been civilized for a few centuries. There's something in us that needs nature. Even New York City, one of the most urban environments on the planet, has its own patch of nature called Central Park. Clearly, in even the most urbanized settings among us, we still have a need for the wilderness, for the wild. So when I speak of the healing power of nature, I don't necessarily mean that we should all move to the country and become farmers or hermits, but I do recognize the need we all have to experience nature in some way, even if it just means adding a few houseplants in the living room, or putting on a recording of birds singing in a rainforest while you're doing your housework. It's up to you to decide how many changes you can make in your own living space and lifestyle. In most of the studies I've seen on the benefits of wilderness experiences, people talk about the transformative power it brings into our lives. Something happens to us when we go out into the woods. Our heart rates slow down, our blood pressure goes lower, we become calmer and more relaxed. Under the right circumstances, people can even have life-changing experiences in the woods. This is the ability to transform lives, and it's the essence of Druidry as practiced by the Black Mountain Druid Order. This Awan of Air meditation is used to seek the Awan in matters associated with prosperity and vitality in your life. It is helpful when you seek a season of new growth and new vigor. The direction of the air is east. It may help when performing this meditation to face eastward if possible. This meditation is especially powerful if done while facing the rising sun. The season associated with the Awan of the air is the spring. As you begin this meditation, visualize the sunrise on the first day of spring. As you inhale, your breath is becoming the yellow light of the sun. Each inhaled breath draws more of the sun's life-giving energy into your body. Take a few deep breaths. With your mind's eye, watch the energy of your breath spread throughout your body. As you continue to breathe, picture yourself sitting on a mountainside. The mountain is covered with the first flowers of spring. You can smell their fragrance on the breeze. It is dawn and the dew is on the grass. Feel the cool dew against your skin becoming warmer as the sun rises before you. The Awen of the air is the Awen of taking action. As you breathe in the warm spring air on this hillside, what action do you need to take in your life to bring about new growth and new direction? The Awen of the air is the Awen of personal truths and subjective meanings. As you allow the inspiration of the Awen of the air into your consciousness, ponder your own personal truths. Is there any room for growth in your knowledge and wisdom? What seeds would need to be planted in order for you to achieve greater vitality and prosperity in your life? Which seeds might need to be pulled from your garden of mind so that the Awen of the air might plant new seeds and new fruits? The Awen of the air is the Awen of the farmer. Allow its inspiration to till the soil of your mind so that it may plant new ideas, new beliefs, new wisdom, and new inspiration deep in the soil of your consciousness so that you may reap a bountiful harvest when the time comes. What is the harvest that you seek? How can the Awen of air plant the seeds of this harvest in your mind? What will you do to till the soil and work the land? How will you feed and water the new seeds of wisdom? The farmer gently and lovingly labors in her fields, tending her crops until the harvest. How might the way of the farmer help you to cultivate the change you wish to see in your life. Nua of the Silver Hand rules the Awen of Air. Nua was once the king of the Tua De Danann, or the fairy people. When he fought the Firbolg at the first battle of Meg Tuath, his hand was severed from his body. According to Breon law, a king must be without blemish, so this wound disqualified him from the office of ruler of the children of Danu. Diankeet, the god of healing, fashioned a hand of silver to replace the one Nua lost. With his new silver hand, he was eventually able to regain his kingship, and henceforth he was known as Nua of the Silver Hand. Although Nua had many adventures, he eventually relinquished his throne to the sun god Lu. In what ways have you abdicated rule over your own life? How might the Awen of Air help you to restore you to your rightful place? What is your silver hand? What has been cut away from you to be replaced by the God of healing? How will this replacement help you to achieve new growth and new vigor in your own life? Danu's gift from the Awen of the Air is the Sword of Nua. It is a symbol of masculine power and energy. No one ever escaped this sword once it was drawn, and no one could resist its power. What is your Sword of Nua? What irresistible power can the Awen of Air bring to you? What wisdom do you possess that others cannot escape? What masculine energies are influencing your life right now? What is your relationship to them? Are you at peace or at war with these energies? How might your relationship to these energies change for the better? How might this sword of wisdom aid you in your quest for prosperity and vitality. As this meditation draws to a close, thank Danyu, thank Nua, and thank Lu for the sword of wisdom they have bestowed upon you during this meditation. When you are ready, open your eyes and know that you have planted a seed today that will come to fruition in the harvest, when the masculine energy of the sun and the feminine energy of the earth are in balance with the awan of air. Denying the darkness gives it power over us, but exploring it and reclaiming it gives us power over it. Black Mountain Druidry is the official television show of the Black Mountain Druid Order. The Black Mountain Druid Order has been doing shadow work since the late 1990s. How do you do shadow work? What can you learn from it? How can it help you? Come explore these questions and more with us on Black Mountain Druidry. Don't be afraid of the dark. Sustainable living means living a lifestyle that relies on renewable resources rather than on resources that will eventually be depleted. The ultimate goal of sustainability is to replace at least as many resources as we use by either recycling or replenishing the ones that we've harvested. When I speak to children's groups about this topic, I have a demonstration that I use to illustrate the principle. I pass around a cookie jar and tell each class member to take a cookie. Beforehand, I make certain that there are enough cookies for only half of the class. When they run out, I say, "Oh no, we seem to have run out of cookies. How can we make sure that the rest of the class gets one?" The answer, of course, is to put more cookies into the jar. So sustainability means putting some cookies back in the jar for future generations. A totally sustainable life cycle would be one that relies on nothing but renewable resources. By replacing at least as much as we take out of the environment, we complete the circle for ourselves and for future generations. In short, living sustainably means putting the principles of deep ecology to work in our everyday lives by honoring the earth, our mother, and by honoring all of our creatures that we share the planet with. This includes honoring ourselves, our children, and future generations by leaving them a planet at least as sustainable as the ones we inherited from our own ancestors. Our modern lifestyle has led most of us to go so far away from nature that we no longer know where most of our food comes from, or where the water we drink comes from, or where our trash goes when we toss it out. I know that a lot of people will continue to think that sustainability is a nice idea, but it's too much trouble to bother with right now. I know that some others may make a few changes here and there when it's convenient. I suppose that a little change is better than no change at all. People who are willing to make even small changes are to be congratulated for their effort, don't misunderstand me. But the problems we're going to be facing soon will require massive change. People who are visionary enough to be the pioneers, to make the big changes and take the big risks, must lead the way for the rest of us. I believe that Druids will be at the forefront of this revolution, simply because of the nature of Druidry. Such a lifestyle has always been a goal of the Black Mountain Druid Order, and will continue to be. If you agree, welcome home. Hi, this is Shinka Skane, Chief of the Black Mountain Druid Order. If you're enjoying Black Mountain Druidry, don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments or questions below. You can learn more about the Black Mountain Druid Order or become a member by visiting the website at blackmountaindruidorder.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, blessings of the ancestors on you and yours.